Welcome back. Now, one feature of Google Analytics is that you can actually monitor real-time statistics on your site. And to do that, you are actually going to go to the home page inside of your Google Analytics account. When you do that, you'll see your dashboard, and then you're going to click Real Time. Now, you'll start with the overview page. The overview page will give you real-time information for whichever site you have selected, and it'll give you page views and active pages by default. It'll actually tell you what's happening at a particular location. Now, in this particular case, if you are tracking information in a local area or you are a local business, then this will really help you to be able to determine what's happening in a particular part of the world or a particular part of your country at one time. You can also check traffic sources. So, for example, if you want to know what's happening with your mobile users at this particular moment or with your computer users, you'll be able to see that with this real-time data. You can actually determine what's happening with a particular piece of content. So maybe you just released a particular blog post or you put something together that people are reading right now. Well, you can actually watch their reaction to that piece, and you'll be able to determine whether or not it's successful in what it's supposed to be doing. You can determine the success of an event. And an event can be anything that you determine as a one-time occurrence or something that you want to measure. You can actually measure that event in Google Real Time. And finally, you can also measure your conversions. Now, in this particular case, you'll want to make sure that you have your goals set up. You want to make sure that you have pages set up that will determine whether or not people are reaching your thank you page so that you'll know whether or not you're actually converting your particular offer. You can monitor that in real time in Google Analytics. So this one section of Google Analytics, the real-time section, gives you information about what's happening on your sites and properties at this time. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we are going to be discussing how you can set up goals so that you can tell if your site visitors are taking the action that you want them to take when they're on your site. Now to set up your goals, you're going to go to the Admin tab, and then you're going to come to the right side panel, and you're going to click Goals. Now what you're going to do is you're going to start by clicking New Goal. And then initially you're going to see a number of templates. So the setup will already be basically done for you for these kinds of goal setups. So in this particular case, if you want to know whether or not your site visitors are actually following through and making a payment, you can use the existing template for that goal setup. You can use it for reservations or making an appointment or any of these other factors. These are preset templates that Google will give you in order for you to set up your goals. Now, the other way to set up goals will be to set up a custom goal. And when you do that, you're going to click Continue. And you're going to give that goal a description. And you're going to ID this as your first goal. Now, there are 4 types of goals that you can actually set. One is whether or not a person actually makes it to a particular page. That's a destination goal. Another is a duration goal. In other words, does a person spend a certain amount of time on a particular page? The third is number of pages on your site that a person has visited, and that is a page or screen per session goal. And the other is an event, such as did someone play a video or did they take some kind of action. Whenever you decide which goal that you are going to set, you can actually check the box and click Destination. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to use one of the existing templates for setting a payment. And that means then that we'll click New Goal. And then we'll determine whether or not someone has actually made a payment, and we'll set that as our goal. And we're going to click Continue. Now, to determine that, we're going to reason that a person had to have made our thank you page. And we're going to set that as our destination goal, and we're going to click Continue. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place in here our thank you page, because if a person makes our thank you page, we'll know then that they have made the payment. Now, Google Analytics will track the monetary value of every time somebody actually reaches this page by coming to our site. We can turn this on by putting in a dollar amount. Now, if we want to track activity through an entire funnel, if we are requiring our visitors to go through all of the steps of a particular funnel, we can actually set that up in this section, and we can place it there by creating steps. So at the first page of the funnel, we can create a step, we can create a second step, and a third step. However many steps we have in the funnel, we can determine how much of our content that our visitors are experiencing before they drop out of the process. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the funnel for now, and then we're going to click Save This Goal. And so now we have set our first goal. So all you'll need to do is to go to this goal area, determine whether or not you're going to use one of the templates. If you're not, use one of the custom templates, and then decide what kind of goal that you want to set and how you want to track it. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. Now in this video, we're going to talk about the third-party applications that are available for you to use with Google Analytics. Now, if you come to the Google Analytics front page, you'll notice that there is a link at the top for partners. You should go ahead and click that link. When you get to this page, you'll see Expert Help is here. You're going to click the link that says Google Analytics Certified Partners. And then you'll see that Google Analytics offers a list of partners and solutions that they have vetted and determined worthy of a mention on their own page. Now, you can find partners, you can be a partner, or you can find a third-party solution. Now, in this particular case, since we're not looking for service providers to help us with Google Analytics, but we might want to find an effective solution. So we're going to go ahead and click Find a Solution. And you'll notice that each of the solutions have certain categories for use with Google Analytics, and they also have pricing associated with them. Now, if you're not necessarily looking to pay for the service, or you'd like to get some level of the service before you actually pay, you're going to start by sorting for free and then apply the filter. And what you'll see then is you'll see a number of solutions available to you, and you'll then want to sort again for the kind of solution that you actually want. For example, perhaps you're looking for an e-commerce solution. If that's the case, you're going to apply that filter. And so now what we have is all of the e-commerce based solutions that come with some level of free or is entirely free in terms of their connection to Google Analytics. Now again, what you'll need to do is to make sure that you determine what it is that you actually want from your third-party app or partners. Perhaps if you want social analytics, you apply the filter, you'll again find those that are already free. You can actually determine those that are paid also. And basically, what you have is you have a list of companies that have decided to partner with Google to make their analytics results more robust and to find new customers. So if one of these applications fit what you are trying to do, you may want to try the free level of their solution. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. Now in this video, we are going to talk about the audience page and the overview. Now, when you come to the home screen, you'll get a general sense as to what's happening with your site, the one that you have selected. You can get a more detailed picture of your site visitors, though, by clicking on the audience link. And when you click on the audience link, you'll want to click the overview. Now, the overview will give you at a glance everything that you need to know about your audience without having to drill down. Now, you'll want to first select the dates that you want to keep track of. For example, you can set this for a particular month, just as you would any other report, and apply it. And once you've done that, then you'll be able to look at each session, and you'll be able to look at the report to determine the health of your audience. Now, you can look at this in any number of ways. You can look at this based on the hours. You can look at this based on the days or even at a particular week. The audience overview looks at sessions, and so this is a visit that a user makes to your site and stays there, either looks around or leaves. And as you go down, you'll get an overview of what these sessions look like over the course of the time period that you have selected. So for example, in this case, for this site, there were 2,401 sessions, or 2,401 times when someone visited the site and stayed there for some length of time. Now, not every one of those people were new users. In fact, there were only 1,237 users. That means then that some of these users came to the site more than once. While they were on the site, they viewed a total number of 4,101 pages. And so you're getting a glimpse of what is happening on a particular site at a particular month. You'll also see that on average, when someone comes to the site, they view 1.71 pages, or between 1 and 2 pages, and stay on those pages approximately 2 minutes. Now, there is a bounce rate, and the bounce rate is the case where someone comes to the site and they leave right away after a short period of time. You'll also see during a particular period of time how many people actually came to the site for the first time or generated a new session. And you'll see that not only in the chart, but you'll see that in this number on your audience menu. If you scroll down in the menu, you'll get an overview of the language spoken by the individuals that come to your site inside of the demographics area. Now, you can also change that demographics area to a country designation. And you can see where most of your visitors will come from. You can also break it down in terms of city. And you can get a sense for how many of your visitors come from a particular city. Once again, because this is an overview, you have several instances where this data is in individual parts of the audience site, but you're given all of this at a glance. So you'll be able to tell how many of your people actually use a specific browser, how many use a particular operating system, and then what kind of internet provider that they use. And finally, you can get information on the mobile devices they use. So for example, you'll be able to find out how many people use Android versus iOS versus Windows Phone, what service provider they use, as well as what their screen resolution is. Now, all of this can be helpful information because it will give you an idea of what you should be preparing in terms of content for the individuals that come to your site. And as you start to see more people interact with your site, you'll be able to give them more of what they want when they come to visit. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now, one of the areas within your site properties in Google Analytics that you'll want to make sure it's enabled is going to be the demographics and interest reports. Now, if you enable this, that means that Google will start to collect this information and show it to you during your summary reports. However, you must enable it because, again, it is not enabled by default. So you'll come to your property settings for your particular site. When you scroll down through those settings, you're just going to tick this to on. And once you do that, you want to make sure then that you click Save. That means then that when you start to collect information, you go back to the home screen and you are looking at your audience menu. In particular, you are looking at the overview. You're going to have certain information that you will be taking, and then if you were to go into the interest area and you were to click the overview, what you would see is that you're going to need to enable the advertising features to support this. And so we're going to click this button. Then Google Analytics will tell us that demographics and interest reports will be collecting and that we'll start to get this information within 24 hours. Now, also within the audience menu will be your geography. When we move into the language panel, we can take a deeper look into any of these numbers. For example, we can take a look at the English, US. We can go back. and look at any of the other languages. Now we can also take a look at the location page. And the location page, we can do a deeper dive into any particular country that has results. For example, if we chose the United States, we'd be able to break down our visitors by state within the United States. Now, interest and geography are only two of the submenus that you actually have. You also have behavior, technology, mobile, and benchmarking and custom. So all of these will give you different views of your information. However, geography as well as interest give you a picture of who is coming to your site and why they may be coming. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. In conclusion, you now know how to do a basic setup for Google Analytics for yours or a client's business. Now, whether you have a WordPress, HTML, or page builder site, you can now set up your website to track activity. You've learned that the specialized features give you leverage to create your own reports and views of your information. You've also learned that integrations help you to extend the functionality of Google Analytics and give you even more leverage. And of course, you can now access real-time reporting and analyze it on the fly to know exactly what's happening on your websites at any point in time. You can now read and understand your data, customize it, and even export it if you feel it's necessary. And of course, now you're ready to look deeper at the functions as you begin to use them more every day. Now, all you really need to do is to take a walkthrough of all of the basic principles you've learned so that they will stick with you. And with that, thanks, and I'll see you either in another video or in another course.